Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I'm going to talk about how is the narcissist home? How do you think the narcissist keeps their home? Well, like I spoke about this in a reel, but I wanted to go more in depth about it. When you're dealing with a narcissist, depending on the narcissist, it can go one of two ways. You could have a narcissist who is a complete slob, a hoarder, who just leaves the place a mess, all right? And expects you to clean up after everything. They could be the type of people that are messy slobs, and then they expect you to clean their mess all the time. Or, in my experience, you could have a narcissist who's a clean fanatic, okay? A lot of narcissists are clean freaks. Now, I need to put a little disclaimer on here because I had somebody say, well, I like my house very clean. Does that mean I'm a narcissist? You guys, okay? Whew. Not everybody that keeps their house clean is a narcissist, okay? Common sense, please. Common sense is not so common for a lot of people, all right? So I just had to bring that up, all right? We're talking about narcissists here, but a lot of narcissists, it's like sleeping with the enemy. Every can in place, like in the movie Sleeping with the Enemy, where he had the cans turned facing forward, all in alignment. Because a lot of narcissists also have OCD, all right? Or OCD people might do this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a narcissist. So they want to control their environment. So they'll be constantly cleaning, and they'll also be cleaning after you just cleaned. All right. So the way you clean is not good enough for them. So they're going to correct your cleaning. Let's say you wash the dishes and they don't like the way you wash the dishes. They feel that need of control to have to rewash the dishes because they don't like the way that you did it or the way that you loaded the dishwasher or something like that. The other thing to keep in mind is narcissists don't generally like you coming to their house. This is one of the things I notice when dealing with narcissists. They always want to come to your house. Oh, sure, they want to come to your house so they can mess your house up, lay across your couch, okay? They can go through your drawers and your paperwork in your closets to see if there's anything to steal, right? So narcissists generally don't like people to come to their houses, all right? The other thing that you got to keep in mind is if you do go to a narcissist's house, all right, they may have cameras. Sometimes narcissists, if they do want you to come to their house, let's say it's a sex thing, they want you to come to the house because they want to have sex with you. They could have cameras hidden to film the sexual activity between you and the narcissist, and they could be selling those videos on porn sites or just keeping a collection of them because narcissists are freaks, okay? So you don't know when you go in a narcissist's house or you have sex with a narcissist that they could have cameras actually there, all right, filming you. You have to be very careful when dealing with the narcissist because they engage in criminal activity, all right? The other thing that you got to keep in mind is some narcissists are never home. So their house could be like empty. There's no decorations up on the wall. There's no food in the refrigerator, okay? So there's not much in there. It's basically like a crash pad because they're never there. And that could be another reason why it's a mess too, because they're never there and they're always on the go and they're just throwing clothes every which way. The narcissist also could be the hoarder, all right? They collect things. They have piles of stuff. A lot of people said they hoard, but it's neat, okay? So maybe they have a pile of junk stacked up and the rest of the house is neat and everything like that. Narcissists also, the reason when they know that you're coming by, all right, they will sometimes clean up, but then when, let's say you move in with them, then you see that they're really messy, okay? So it was all an act to try to clean up the house to make it look different. And then once they have you, they don't care, they're messy or something like that. So somebody came back and they said, well, this doesn't make sense. They're this or they're that, because you have to understand something. not every narcissist is the same. And we're talking extremes here. All right. Somebody said, well, that's everybody. No, it's not everybody, because narcissists do things in extremes. They could either be very, very clean, controlling all the time, or they could be a slob because they're depressed, they don't care, they're always on the go, all right? But one thing you're going to notice when you're dealing with a narcissist, if you ever go to their place, is they always have the drapes drawn, okay? This is so true. The drapes are drawn and the shades are drawn, okay? And locks always on the door. The minute let's say you walk into a narcissist place, the minute they're doing, they're locking every door, okay? Because narcissists are paranoid. They're paranoid that somebody's going to come by. They're dealing with so much supply that they're worried that another supply is going to show up at the house while you're there, all right? So they don't want anybody looking into their place. They want to make sure all doors and everything is locked so that nobody can pull a sneak attack on them, all right? The other thing that you're going to notice when you're in a narcissist's house is that they have tons of bottles of perfume and cologne. The way they smell, they use cologne and perfume as a way to attract supply. So if you go into like their bedroom or their bathroom, they're going to have, plenty of body sprays, okay? Plenty of bottles of cologne, because this is how they draw in their supply, by smelling good, all right? So you notice that next time you go into a narcissist's house, they'll have plenty of bottles of cologne or perfume. And they'll also have no food in the fridge. All right. So, you know why? Because they like to go to supplies houses. That's what they like to do. They like to go to all their supplies houses, and they like to eat their food, or, have them cook for them. A lot of narcissists, they actually live in supplies houses, and they live from one supplies house to another supplies house to another supplies house. Okay. Some of them don't even want to get their own apartment, because that means responsibility, paying bills. So they love bomb from one till they love bomb and move into another person's house, to another one. All right. But if you have a narcissist, right, and they do have their own place, their own apartment or own home or something, when you go into that place, they don't want you touching anything of theirs, all right? They don't want you touching any of their stuff. They'll actually get very, very angry or irritable when they see, let's say you're looking at something. Let's say they have some kind of display of something on their counter or something, and you're looking at it or something. They'll be like, oh, don't touch that. Don't touch that. They don't want you touching anything. But the irony in that is, if they ever come to your house, they're touching everything. Okay. They're opening closet doors, opening your drawers. They're going through things. They feel entitled. They could touch anything, look at anything. They're not shy. They'll open your refrigerator. They'll open your closets. They're very, very nosy. They want to see what you have, because they're looking to rob you, all right? But when it's the other shoe around, they're paranoid. They think you're just like them, and they're afraid that you're gonna take something of theirs, all right? They break things in your house, but when it comes to their house, if you ever accidentally, let's say, broke a glass or something, or anything like that, they will go ape shit on you. Absolutely ape shit on you, okay? They have no empathy, no understanding, all right? They will get like really, really out of pocket and raging out. Let's say you spill something on their carpet or something. They'll start yelling, screaming, raging out. But when they're in your house, and I've seen this, and when they're in your house, they could spill a cherry drink on your rug, and they don't even care. All right. They let it sit there, and you're like, are you going to clean that up? And they're like, and you have to force them to like clean. They don't care. When it's your house, they don't care if they dirty it, they spill things, they break things. Even if they break things in your house, they don't replace it. Okay. They don't replace anything that they break. No, they don't. They feel they don't have to replace anything. But if it's the other way around, forget it. All right. So understand this. Narcissists really don't want you in their house. They really don't. Very rarely will a narcissist want you to come by. They'll always say, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Sure, they want to come to you because they like hanging out in your house, and they don't want to be in their house in case other supply might come around, and they like getting out of their house. It's supply to them to be in someone else's house, walking around, exploring things, using your stove, using your TV. They just love it, okay? It's like being on a little mini vacation or being at a bed and breakfast. So they love coming to your place, but when it's their place, they don't want you touching anything. They're also walking right behind you when you're walking around in their place, okay? They're watching you. They're watching you to see what you're doing. They want to make sure you're not looking through anything, going through their stuff. So they're watching you like a hawk when you're in their house. When you go to a narcissist house, one of the things you're going to feel is uncomfortable, all right? Uncomfortable. They're going to make you feel like you're not wanted, or you don't belong, okay? You're always going to feel misplaced in the narcissist house because that's really the sentiment that they're giving you. They don't really want you there. You could have narcissists that might invite supply over for sex or something, but guarantee after they get the supply of sex, they want that supply to get the fuck out of there, okay? They don't want them in their spot, okay? They want them out. So they're watching you like a hawk in their house because they think you're a thief just like they are that's going through everything. The other funny thing too is they don't want you using their towel, all right? Let's say it's a towel in the bathroom to wash your hands or something. They don't want you using their towel. Oh, don't use my towel. God only knows what they've done with that skanky towel of theirs, okay? God only knows where that towel has been, because narcissists don't share. They just don't share what's theirs, all right? So they're going to be very, very protective of their stuff, and they don't want you touching their stuff. But like I said, when it comes to your place, it's free reign. They could touch everything. They could break everything. They don't care, all right? They'll have tons of deodorant sticks, all right, to try to get the scent of other supply off and putting it all over themselves, all right? The other thing about the narcissist house, all right? Now listen here. 9 times out of 10, that narcissist has drugs and alcohol hidden, all right? They may have a supply of alcohol that they may keep out, all right? Like if they're having you over and they want to, have a drink with you or something like that. But a lot of them are closet alcoholics, and they may not want you to know that. So they could have, bottles of alcohol hidden in a closet, or have some kind of drugs, or you'll find drug paraphernalia somewhere in their place, all right? Like you may think like they always play like they're the guy or girl next door, right? When you first meet them. But then let's say you go over their place a couple of times, or you actually move in, you're going to find some weird shit in that house, all right? You may find drugs, you may find alcohol, you could find sex paraphernalia, things that you didn't know that they were into because they hide this, because they live secret lives, all right? And people could say, well, a lot of people do that. Yeah, a lot of people do that. But the thing with the narcissist is that they're deceptive. They always try to portray they're the opposite of who they are, okay? So they always try to portray they're like Mother Teresa. Oh, I'm celibate. I haven't had sex in 3 years. Meanwhile, they just had sex probably before they even came to see you, all right? They're just outright liars. Or they'll say, I don't like dating apps. I don't do dating apps. You were the first one I met on the app. Meanwhile, they have 42,000 dating profiles on all the different apps, and they're lying to you, all right? This is all lies. Now, I'm going to bring up another thing about the narcissist house that is going to make you laugh, okay? And somebody made this point, and it's so true. In a narcissist house, they like to control the thermostat. So you're going to find that they're either going to sweat you out or freeze you out. A lot of times they like to freeze you out because narcissists don't want to pay for heat. Let's say you live in the north, right? Or you live in a cold area. A lot of narcissists, they never want to put the heat on, okay? So you could be freezing and they don't care. They'll be like, oh, here, you need a blanket or something. God forbid they put the heat on or raise the heat. No, they don't want to do that. They see you shivering. It's freezing. It's 10 below outside. No, they won't, they run their home according to the way they want it. So the thermostat is going to be set on whatever they want it on. They don't care about anybody else in the house. Even when it comes to kids, their kids could be freezing and they'll say something like, oh, put another blanket on or something, or throw another blanket on your bed or something, because they don't want to pay for the heat. And I get that, because heat could be very expensive, but there's such a thing as, you have to be able to not live in an iceberg, okay? Not live in an iceberg, right? So everything according to the narcissist house is according to them. They're not big into decorations a lot of time, unless they're, into art, and then they're trying to show off with their art or something. Their kitchen, they're going to be like sleeping with the enemy with the cans all lined up. If they have food, the refrigerator most times is going to be empty, or it's going to be filled with, if you live with the narcissist, the refrigerator is going to be filled with all of their stuff. When they go shopping, they buy all of the things that they want, and they don't care about what you like. They just assume that you're going to eat whatever they buy that they like, okay? They don't take other people's likes or considerations into account. They could give a rat's ass what you like to eat, all right? They'll be like, oh, I'm making this tonight, okay? They don't say, do you want to eat that? No, they don't care whether you want to eat it or not. This is what they're making, and if you don't eat it, tough shit, okay? So this is how the narcissist home is. So the other thing too is they make you feel uncomfortable too, because they're always cleaning up after you. Let's say, you're sitting on the couch and you move the pillow to this side, and then you get up from the couch. They'll take the pillow and they'll actually move it to the other side, or do something like that. Or let's say you leave your drink on the coffee table, and you're going to come back and you want to have a drink. You want to drink it later on. They'll take your drink and they'll put it in the sink, wash out your cup, and you come back, let's say, from the bathroom, and your cup is gone, and you're like, hey, did you see my cup? They're like, yeah, I cleaned it. You left it on the table. Meanwhile, you left it on the table for like 2 seconds to use the bathroom or something. And the narcissist, it irritated them that you left that cup on the table. Everything irritates them. Everything irritates them. So when I was in college, I had a roommate who was a super, super, super clean fanatic. Okay. And I remember that I had a class really early in the morning. So I'd be up late studying really late at night, almost all night. And then I would crash out and run to my class because I had to get there. Right. And I'm studying and stuff. And I come back and it was nice though. She made my bed. The whole place was not a cup or anything, nothing out of, but she needed that. I said to her, I said, Julie, I said, as soon as I come back, I was going to clean up, make my bed and everything. I had to get out to my class. I had a midterm exam or something like that. She's like, oh, that's okay. She's like, oh, but I don't like, it bothered me or something. I was like, okay, sorry about that. But, I had no sleep and I was rushing and everything like that. So this is what it is, okay? They need that constant control. They can't leave with things because it bothers them, because they need control of things, all right? So they're going to be cleaning up after you. This is what it is. They'll be cleaning up after you. Now, keep in mind, I had one person say, well, this video makes no sense. They could be this way, they could be that way. Well, yes, it makes all the sense in the world, because you can't put narcissists all in a box. Not all narcissists are the same. Some narcissists are clean fanatics, and some narcissists are the other extreme, where they're hoarders and they're slobs and their place is a mess, and they may smell and they stink because they're depressed, they're anxious, for whatever whatever reasons. They could be slobs. And that's another reason why they wouldn't want you to come to their place as well, because their place is a mess. So you guys, it really depends on the narcissist you're dealing with, all right? They could either be the extreme of super clean or the other extreme of like a hoarder and messy and slob, and their car could be a mess and whatever, right? So keep that in mind, all right? I hope that helps you. If it does, please hit the subscribe button, share the video. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. If you're confused, you don't know if you're dealing with a narcissist, what kind of narcissist you're dealing with, check out the link in the bio. Check out my YouTube. I have over 7,500 videos, a lot of information on YouTube about narcissism at the Game Exposed podcasts. TikTok is the Game Exposed, and Facebook and Instagram is the Game EXP123 for more reels and information. And have a great day.